Welcome to a RPG Architect devlog update. I am not Bert, instead I am Locke, and I am here trying to give you a quick demo of some of the new features that have been added, so let's begin.
Hold up. Hey everyone, it's Bert here. You may remember me from such videos as RPG Architect Tutorial 1, RPG Architect Tutorial 2, and Music Composers Gone Wild. While Locke is an amazing and talented programmer, he's still got a ways to go until he reaches the level of audio director. That is to say, the videos he recorded had some major audio issues, and I just could not do that to your ears. So I'm redubbing over this. I'll try and sync up with his actions as best as I can. Alright, roll the tape. We'll be using the 2D sample project to demo these updates. Our first update is Annotations. Annotations are a way of projecting something on the screen that you otherwise may not have seen. You could potentially pull these effects off with animations or something, but in this case, we'll be using annotations. Alright, so these are the default annotations we've added. We have Sprite. In this case, it's the Big Bro Sprite. It's set to persistent, which means I want the annotation to stay on indefinitely, and that it's cycling, meaning we'll go through every frame over and over. If we uncheck that, the sprite will end on the last frame. We got some text saying Forest Demon, and the color is yellow. There's a few more options here, but we're just starting with the basics. So, as you can see, we've got our Big Bro Sprite, and it says Forest Demon. It's a great little feature for you to easily implement things like quest markers or names, that kind of thing. At some point, we may even include gauges and other user interface commands too. Now, let's look at some of the commands that were added. You may have spotted this earlier, but here we are adding an annotation that says, "You've added an annotation." There's no screen offset or world offset. World offset applies to the coordinates inside the world space, so this would be in tiles generally, if you've watched the other videos. So 1 on the X would shift it 1 to the right. Screen offset is in pixels, so offsetting in pixels from where the annotation's typically rendered, which would be on our forest dude. Let's change a couple things here and see how that looks. So we've added an annotation and also set the local switch off. We got 2 pages here. One has the local switch on, which is our default, and the other, our local switch is off, and it's going to remove our annotations. We also have this checked where it says include script page annotations, which means these annotations which are associated with the script page. By default, it doesn't do those in case you wanted to show something temporarily like an emotion or a balloon pop up over a character. So let's test this and see how it looks. And there we go, just like we set up. Now let's jump over to our next update, the Caterpillar system. If you go to the database and go to Maps Configuration, you'll see a new section called Caterpillar System. This is what will create followers like you'd find in other game-making softwares. When it's disabled, nothing can be edited, but when we enable it, these options come alive. As with other areas of the engine, there are tooltips that explain how most of these functions work, but for our non-English speaking friends, you'll have to wait until full translations come out. Our follower's intangible controls whether or not something actually interacts with the physics. Typically, I'd turn this on. This allows followers to pass through objects they'd otherwise get stuck on, like treasure chests or other characters, NPCs, that kind of thing. Members shown determines the number of characters that will show up on the map at a time. This number includes your party leader. In our case, we only have 2 characters. Minimum distance is the amount of space that has to be between 2 characters before they start moving. If a character exceeds the maximum distance, they'll be teleported to the character. So let's see what that looks like in action. Alright, so as you can see, we've got Franck, our second character, right behind Tay. He does his best to keep up, but if we get a little too far, he teleports to Tay. It's a very cool little feature. Play with it to your heart's content. Alright, now let's move on to our next update, adding character commands. So if we check in our database, you can see we've got a skill made already on Tay called Summon Bro. This will summon Big Bro into battle. That's our script. Global scripts also work now on skills. So if we look down over here at our global scripts, Summon Big Bro, you'll see we have Add Character, Big Bro. This is a character we already have defined up in the database, and we'll look at him in a minute. We have the option here to add them to the scene, or if we want to add them to the active party. If you followed some of our older updates, then you'll probably know that there's an inactive party that doesn't have the current members, and an active party which has your current members. That's something that's been around for a while, but the difference now is this checkbox here, Add to Scene. You can call this global script on the map, or you can call it in battle. It works for both, but this is the character it's referencing, Big Bro. So let's show it off. First, we're going to add a battle. So go to the script, Start Battle. We'll select Forest Squid and our forest background. Okay, let's check it out. Talk to this dude to start our battle. And you can see now we have the command Summon Bro. And boom, he's now an active member in this battle. We're going to go ahead and skip forward to the end of the battle to see that Big Bro is now following us on the map as well. Very, very cool. But we got one more update for you, and that has to do with vehicles. So you can see on this map right off the bat, there's already a vehicle here. But for the sake of showing it, you can see we can create a new vehicle and add it. Normally this would be done through scripts for in-game instances, but in this case we'll just add it directly here. That's for if you always want it here and not add it at some specific stage of the game. You'll notice Database has a new section called Vehicles. Locke called it Airshot because he's been watching my tutorials and is a big fan of my naming scheme. You'll notice that there is an idle sprite and an active sprite. Idle sprite is for when the vehicle is not in use, and active is the visual for when the vehicle is in use. You can change all these scripts, but we're going to keep it simple for now. You can see we have enter and exit interactions. Player action button means that you essentially have to talk to the vehicle to activate it, and in our case, the player has to hit the virtual key for cancel to exit the vehicle. In addition, you can also activate the caterpillar system, meaning you can have a vehicle for each character following behind, so everybody can ride their own boat or chicken. You can also define a custom vehicle song in this section. Highly recommend that you use some of the great music provided by Bit by Bit Sound for this. Hashtag shameless plug. Alright, well let's take a look. Once again, we have some amazing music playing on the test project right now. You'd be able to hear it if the audio wasn't screwed up on the initial video, but that's neither here nor there. Also, a great little map we're playing around in. And bam, there we go. Airship is flying around, and our follower has his own airship as well. And if you see here, I'm going to skip forward a little bit. You can see you exit the vehicle and come back, and bam, it remembers where it was left. Just like that. Alrighty, well, that should do it for our August update. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like. If you haven't already, subscribe and ring the bell, all the YouTube things to be notified for when we post new videos. Be sure to join our mailing list. There's a link in the top comment, pinned comment. If you haven't already, be sure to grab your copy of RPG Architect. There is also a link in the description for that. Thank you again so much for watching. I have been Bert, you have been amazing, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.